Greetings to all of you. On this very evening in our country, of Wednesday, May the 8th of the Gregorian year 2024. I extend my greetings to all of you. Even though my greetings are mingled with slumber and also grim feelings. This particular day is also a Memorial Day. This 8th of May 2024 today goes back 79 years after the declaration that the Second World War came to an end. The declaration in the Western world was made and promulgated perhaps by certain organs that the Second World War came to an end. A new era began. Many people, I mean many millions of people who were called to fight vicious regimes of those days had to sacrifice very dearly, even with their own lives. Those who survived the war thought that they and their descendants, their children and children's children, would never have to face such a dark age as theirs. They were wrong. Even during the last few decades, when people declared war against other nations, hoping to achieve justice and attain equity for all, the leaders of those nations thought that their efforts would bring peace, lasting peace upon this earth in the world as a whole. They were wrong. When at the end of the last millennium, in the late 1990s, certain countries or states declared war against other states in Eastern Europe. They thought they would ensure there would be long-lasting peace based upon natural justice and equity. They were wrong. Beginning of this millennium, after the tragic incident, or I should say incidents in plural, taking place, known as 9/11, or on the 11th of September of the Gregorian year 2001, when a war was declared once again, the leaders of various nations thought that they could bring about peace and stability in the world while destroying the dictatorial, notorious, inhumane, dictatorial, and of course unjust regimes to their knees. Again, they failed. Even during the past few years, or even during the couple of decades during the era of this new millennium, when wars were declared, the declaring nations thought they could bring peace to the world. They were wrong. Some 48, not yet complete, but 40 hours ago, seeing live broadcasting of children rejoicing in the Judean Samaria, also known as Gaza, I thought that there would be peace in the Middle East. And I was most certainly, definitely, and without the trace of the least doubt, was wrong. My hope did not last even 12 hours when I heard that the joy of those children rejoicing on the street were overshadowed by dreadful fear of life and liberty. I was wrong. My question to all my fellow global citizens on this very day, the 8th May 2024, the 79th anniversary of the official ending of the Second World War, would be and remains: what have we achieved during all these decades? How little have we truly achieved in ensuring that our world move, or ought to move, or should move in the right direction? A millimeter or a micrometer is a question I raise with all due respect. Certain fanatical regimes are influencing young people to take up arms in their own hands and destroy the peace of the world. Those world leaders who don't go and fight, but send the younger generation, the youths, the teenagers, the boys and girls, too young to comprehend what really goes on in the world, are paying too dearly today. Those leaders are often cowards. They sit comfortably on their chairs, perhaps in the air-conditioned room, when the young generation go out in the heat, in the rain, in the snow and icy cold weather to fight, believing what those leaders told them, however far that might be from the factual situations existing in our world today. This was the incident which took place, which caused the devastating situations in the United States of America, because Osama bin Laden was too coward a person to come forward and fight on his own, but sent young people to die on suicidal missions. This was the incident. Later, even during the first few years of this new millennium, when Saddam Hussein carried out atrocities against the Kurds, sitting comfortably in his presidential palace while sending young people to die. This was the incident which took place even recently, when cowards calling themselves leaders sent young people claiming to be Hamas, or Hamash perhaps, pronounced in the correct manner, invaded parts of Israel on October the 7th of the past year, 2023, killing some 1,200 or more individuals, massacring, violating, abducting many others. This is what it is about. And this is what we need to remember today in our world. There are too many other problems to fight. The natural catastrophes, the calamities with which our world is confronted today. The current situation in Brazil, the past situations in the Far East, when typhoons causing floods and devastations, the earthquakes, the bushfires in the past. The victims are still suffering, while we take to great pleasures in condemning others and fighting against the weak, the feeble, the defenseless. Should we not fight for justice and equity, even today now, at this very moment? Should we not take up the instruments of true humanity to fight against calamities of our world today? I remain grateful to the British parliamentarians who introduced a legislation restricting certain practices, endangering children and youths via the internet. But we are exposing our youths today, the children, the babies, to the obvious danger of dying, becoming maimed and lame, losing limbs and lives, suffering illnesses. Are we doing the right thing? This is a question I ask some 79 years after the official declaration of the ending of the Second World War. An incident took place long before my birth, But even the imagination of that incident shivers my nerves, gives me sweaty hands. Should we not try to help our fellow global citizens in graver need than our self-estimated prestige, built upon our own pride, even vacant pride? Should we not come forward to help the victims of natural calamities today, in Brazil, in the Philippines, in Turkey? Should we not try to protect the individuals, the victims in the Sudan and in Nigeria? Should we not try to protect the victims in the country which is considered to be the staunchest enemy of the State of Israel today, where women are persecuted simply for not wearing a headscarf properly in the view of those extremists, even if a few streams of hair are projected out? They're not merely persecuted, they're tortured and killed. Should we not try to come and help those young girls who want to educate themselves in a country where Osama bin Laden carried out his inhumanity hardly 2 decades and a half earlier? I ask this question to my fellow citizens with all due respect on this 79th anniversary of the official ending of the Second World War. This is my errand. This is my message on this particular day. Should we not try to discourage those film industries which show violence for personal gain, regardless of the fact that those violent films also encourage young people to become violent in life? Should we not try to introduce teachings on morality in our schools which have abolished the sound doctrines and removed them from their schools? Even the doctrines based on the sacred Torah or the Holy Bible? Should we not try to teach our fellow global citizens the value of morality, leading to appreciate the value of human lives? This is a question I have asked my own self with all due humility and sadness. And I ask this very question to all my fellow global citizens with all due respect and sincerity. Thank you for viewing or watching this live telecasting of mine on this Wednesday, 8th May 2024, on the 79th anniversary of the official declaration of the Second World War. While I bid all of you, my fellow global citizens, who believe in natural justice and equity and the true cause of humanity, the same protection of the same Almighty God who created all of us, even the very victims exposed to the obvious dangers of our current world. thank you again. Thank you once again. And bid you a very blissful and peaceful future based upon natural justice and equity.